Today I'm going to be reviewing this Apiuek pressure washer that I recently purchased on Amazon. I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. This is what's going to be inside of the box. I'm going to go ahead and pull everything out. And then I'm also, of course, going to test it here on the deck and then also on the siding, see how much pressure it actually has and how it works. So this is everything that's going to come inside. It only requires a little bit of assembly, just essentially the handle that's going to go on the back. It does come with an inlet hose, so that's going to be the hose that's going to be from your, essentially your garden hose. And then of course it does have that pressure washing hose. The cord itself is going to be a little bit on the short side. The actual electrical cord is going to be pretty short. I'll give you that measurement here in a minute, but I just want to kind of mention that here. So as you can see, the cord is going to be pretty short here. We're looking at just a hair over 7 foot long on the electrical cord for it. So you'll definitely need to make sure that you've got extension cords. Assembly was relatively easy. So all you had to do is just put those 2 screws there for the handle. And then the 4 screws there, this is how it's actually going to install. So the hose part goes, or the hose hanger goes there on the front. And then the screws, the 4 screws just go right in the back. So just a total of 6 screws. And then the side part there and there, they just kind of clip on. Now this hose is a little bit smaller than say your traditional hose, so I don't know that I would necessarily use this. I'm going to go ahead and test it out while using this. This one actually comes with a screen filter on the end, which you can see I actually took it off. So the water doesn't always run through that filter. It's just going to be like when you first turn it on or whatever. You can do that once you get this connected up, just to make sure that you're not putting any contaminants or that sort of thing inside of your pressure washer. As I was kind of suspecting, this didn't even hold on once I turned the water pressure on pretty high. It just popped right off of here. So what I'd recommend doing is just connecting your normal hose up to the back here. To connect your normal hose to the back, you are going to have to use this little adapter. It does come with it. So this is just going to take and essentially screw onto the back of there, and then this is just going to screw onto your hose. Something I do want to mention, when you're putting this little adapter on, you're going to want to make sure you put it on with the silver side in. So I originally tried putting that silver side on my hose, and it actually wouldn't go on more than just a couple of turns really, whereas on here it goes all of the way on like it should, and then this black part's going to stick out, and this is what you're going to connect to your hose. Once you get the hose connected up, the next thing is to just turn this on. So that's actually going to be this button right there. Now it's going to come with 4 different heads, so you can choose which one you want. This specific one that I put on is more like a straight one, so I'm going to go ahead and swap that out here for one of these that has more of a flat pattern on it. So green is going to be your flattest pattern, so it's going to be way more spread out, as you can see from that. So that will give you some options there. I'm assuming red is going to be the straightest, so that's what it looked like. Green's going to be the flattest, so then the yellow and the white are going to be in between. Now let's go ahead and test it out here on the wall. Now it's going to be a little hard to see, but you can kind of see the pattern there as I was going through and pressure washing. This thing is going to have a decent amount of power. It isn't going to be like as powerful as say a gas powered one is, but this is definitely going to work for like decks, siding that you're up close to, that sort of thing. Also, if you change from the green one to like the white or the yellow one, it should give you a little bit more power. One last thing I do want to mention about this pressure washer is that you can actually flip down that little yellow part right here on the handle. So that way it'll actually lock the handle in place. Now it won't lock it in the on position, unfortunately. It'll just lock it in the off position, but it's kind of a little thing, so you can just put it down. So if you're stepping away from the pressure washer for a minute, you want to make sure your kids aren't messing with it, you can just kind of drop that down into there just to kind of keep it from just pulling on the handle, causing it to spray. So overall, definitely not a bad little electric pressure washer. Obviously not going to have as much pressure as a gas powered one, but for electric one, having 3,800 PSI is definitely not too bad. Will work great for like cleaning off basic siding, decks like I've got here, those sorts of things. If you're looking for something that's going to have a lot of pressure, these electric pressure washers, no matter which brand you go with, are just not going to have enough oomph for that. But this one will work great for what we need it for.